the next step was more of a business user ad hoc query. So in this case, I'm going to take an existing query and we'll make some modifications to it. And so if I take this report and just say modify, this is now using what's called Web Intelligence, which is BusinessObjects web-based business query tool. I'm just going to open up this interface. So this is where we have a kind of a blank canvas to start from. We've already selected a query with some of the objects from a universe. When we do the data discovery, we actually will build kind of a query from scratch, and you'll see kind of how we interact with the universe and grab data. So if we go and these objects on the left, again, are all, some are category codes, some are different elements associated with the customer or the invoice or the item. And then you'll see the right, we've got this table. So we can actually just drag from the left. So let's say I wanted to see my sales year over year by product or product group. So if I grab product group and just drag that to the right in this table, it aggregates the data for me. So there could be a million rows of data behind the scenes here. It's going to go ahead and aggregate them to show me one row for whatever dimension we grab into our canvas. So go down here to our extended amount and grab current year, year to date. I'll drop that right there and look at our prior year, year to date. I'll drop that to the right. We can click on one of these, and then you'll notice here under analysis and functions, we're going to insert a sum. Okay. So now we can get the total of current year versus prior year sales. And then you say, okay, well, what if I want to see that not by product group, but by customer? So if we go here and grab our customer and just drag that and throw it right on top of our product group, it'll swap those out. Now we can see our total year-over-year sales by customer. What if I want to buy customer and then product group within each customer? So we can go back and grab product group and bring that back to our canvas. Instead of replacing it, I'm going to just put it right to the right. And then it'll actually, you'll see here, it creates one row of data for each combination of customer and product. What if we want to group it and see, a grouping of data? So if I right-click on, let's say, our customer and choose Set as a Section, it creates a section on customer, and then I've got this block of data. And I can go ahead and take this block of data and drag this to the right. Okay. And we can just right-click on that block of data and choose Turn Into, and I can turn that into a column chart. That's an example of how you can then see graphically data in the same query as our table. Let's add, for instance, let's say we want to look at a calc that's the variance between our current year and prior year sales. So there's these different variables, and so within the tool, there's a very robust formula editor. So inside the universe, what this is based off of, you've got all the data relationships with the tables and some calculations and aggregation and dimensions and measures defined in the universe. And that's one place where you can centralize logic, and then a business user at the report level or the query level can build their own calculations. So if I just right-click on variables and choose New Variable, let's go ahead and we'll just call this variance. Okay. And we can make this, is this a dimension, is it a measure? This is going to be a measure. And we're just going to take our year-to-date, expand this box a little bit. We'll grab our current year, year-to-date extended amount, and I'm just going to subtract out my prior year, year-to-date amount as well. Okay? And then I can go ahead and just check this. Formula is correct, choose OK. So now we've got down here with our variables this variance amount that we just created, and we can go ahead and drop that in to our canvas. Okay. Okay. We can also go back by just dragging that into our footer. It'll give us a total there too. Okay. We can go up here, go to Format, Numbers. Maybe we want to make these. Okay. Do the same thing here. Okay. So this is one tab. We'll go in here and we'll call this, sales by, customer and product. Okay. We can also, if you think about this as if it were a spreadsheet, right? So we've got different maybe elements in our query. If I right-click on this block or this tab and choose Duplicate Report, it kind of creates another tab, almost like if it were in Excel, kind of doing the same thing. In this case, let's say we want this by maybe sales rep and customer. Okay. So now if we go and grab our sales rep, so we can go find our sales rep here and just drag that right on top of our customer there. Go find our customer, drag that right on top of our product group. Okay. Now in this case, maybe we want to see this chart. Maybe instead of a bar chart, we want it to be a pie chart. Okay. And instead of assign the data, maybe looking at by product group, in this case we want to see it by customer as well. Okay. So now, again, you can create these different tabs. The nice thing about this tool, what it does is when you refresh this data, it queries the data once and allows you to slice and dice this data that's been returned to your canvas a variety of different ways. Okay. So once you go in and want to, let's say, save this report back out, and maybe it's a query that I want to run every month, we could do that. Before we do that, though, we can go here and edit. Let's say I know that there's other elements from the universe I want to pull in for my analysis. I can choose Edit Query. I can go grab from the universe. This is, again, Preferred Strategies, Pre-Built Universes for J.D. Edwards. Any elements, if I want to see something by state or region, I can just drag that into my result object. I can add something to my filter. You can also add a query. So this is, you could be pulling one report on sales, pull in another query off another universe, let's say for inventory, and another one for procurement, and merge the data together where there's common ground. So maybe on the business unit and the item, customer, what makes sense, you can go ahead and do that. So that's, let's close that. So once we've gone in and we want to do a save, we could actually save this right on top of the current query. We could just do a save as and say, okay, where do we want to save this? In this case, we'll save it right back to the same folder. We'll just call this demo on the end of it. So this is now a query that we built. We saved it back, and then I could come back in here, let's say next month, here's the report. I can right-click and view it. I can schedule it. I can modify it just like kind of, so you're not having to recreate. So a lot of people spend hours a month exporting stuff into Excel, massaging it there. With this, you can actually build it one time and just hit the refresh button, enter your parameters, maybe a through date,